Hello everyone, so let's go to the Gauteng High Court where the Senzo Mayor murder trial is happening. So I need to make a confession. I woke up an hour after the trial had begun. You know, guys, I'm on leave, so I'm kind of like enjoying my time in bed and I was late. However, though, when I tuned, it was where Ramusipili was basically challenging Pinky regarding the non-activity of accused number one cell phone, no, accused number two cell phone around November. And at the time, accused number two was in interrogation room and his cell phone was being utilized by somebody else, and so she had no answer for that question. So that's basically where I kind of like picked up, even though I'm a little bit confused. However, I am going to go and watch Mr. Ramusipili's cross-examination and then probably come back again with another video where I give commentary on that process. Or basically, I'm just going to cut out where Mr. Ramusipili was cross-examining Pinky, and then I will do like a reaction type of video on what he was actually cross-examining Pinky about. However, when Mr. Ramosepili concluded his cross-examination, Mr. Mnisi took the floor. And I love what Mr. Mnisi was doing. He was kind of like, okay, Mr. Mngomezulu, you took the dagger and planted it in the chest of the state. All that I'm going to do now is just twist. And Mr. Mnisi just kept twisting and twisting and twisting. And basically, what Mr. Mnisi was doing, he drew a picture to to Pinky. But I don't think Mr. Mnisi was directing anything to Pinky. Once again, just like Mr. Mngomezulu, he was submitting to the record as to what exactly transpired on the 26th of October 2014 when it came to accuse number three's activities on that particular day. And all that Pinky had to do was to say yes or no. And then, of course, the record will be like, I think number three should be actually excused as accused number three. But other than that, Mr. Mngomezulu closed the case on all five accused when he took the floor and asked Pinky those few little questions, basically submitting to the record, as I had said in my previous video. So now Mr. Mnisi takes Pinky on a timeline that, according to your records, where the towers were pinging, they started pinging at Moy Street, Holt Street, and then as you move towards the east, all these places according to this time and this time. And from what I picked up, those pings took place from around 9 in the morning, ending in Katlahong around 11 a.m. And now in my mind, because I didn't know at the time while Mr. Mnisi was delivering this twist on the state, if Katlahong, which apparently is also called Sprayed, if there was hostels there. But I later found out that indeed there are hostels in Katlahong as well. And then the first question, as I was listening to Mr. Mnisi basically dropping these jams on Pinky, basically submitting to the record, I was asking about Zungu. Is it possible that Zungu lied, number one, about going to work that particular day on the 26th of October 2014? Then I was like, okay, as Mnisi was going, I'm like, okay, maybe I see where maybe Zungu would have been. Because if you go to Katlahong, they had gone to hang out with some friends. So this is accused number three with a certain gentleman who was driving a taxi. They went to Katlahong or Spruit. And when they got to Spruit, they needed to go to Fosterus, which was the intended destination for accused number three. And that's when now, when they move from Katlahong to Fosterus, that is why the towers at Fosterus Square picked up accused number three's network. And now the question is, was Zungu lying, or Zungu was indeed with accused number 3, accused number 4, but there was no accused number 5, no accused number 2, and no accused number 1. This is just an added on story. Maybe he did go to work, but he knocked off early and then went to Fosloras to hang out with accused number 3 as well as accused number 4. And then he took whatever that was taking place at that particular day and converted or moved it towards the time that Senzo Meyiwa had been declared dead. And then he hears on the news around 3 a.m. that Senzo Meyiwa had been killed. And then he started putting things together in his mind, because he says when he went to Gwabini's room, he saw accused number 1 to accused number 5 together with Gwabini talking about they've done the job, and then they celebrated by drinking Jameson. Is it Jameson? Right. And that did not take place. What I think Zungu was talking about, he was talking about what transpired during the day, hours before Senzo Meyiwa was killed, around 8:30 to about 9 o'clock. Because when you look at the timeline, accused number 3 leaves Fosloras around 28 minutes past 4, back to CBD Johannesburg. But before he gets to CBD Johannesburg, he takes the Heidelberg Road, took him to to George Goch Hostel. And then George Goch Hostel, I'm assuming that it will pick the tower from what do you call that place again, where they sell fruit and veg? Yeah, that area, showing that indeed he's very nearby that tower in George Goch. And the interesting part as well was about the photos that the state presented to the court regarding the so-called photo that was taken between accused number 3 and a group of other guys and Zungu. Zungu lied. And he says that indeed a picture was taken at the Katlehong hostel. And the second picture was taken at George Goch hostel. And if you look at the times, they agree with what accused number 3 is saying. And of course, Pinky, all she had to say was yes or no, true or not true. And all this time, as Mnisi is taking her through the timeline, she was saying yes, I confirm, and also make sure that the record understood that this is exactly what accused number 3 had said regarding the 26th of October 2014. So at the end of the day, as the timeline was going, everything ends up for accused number 3 in CBD Johannesburg, where the last ping on his phone is at Ho Street. Apparently, his address was between Nugget and Main Street, Johannesburg. I think I know that street, both those streets, because one goes down from here, bro, into the CBD, and then Main Street is right towards the end of Johannesburg or some sort, and downtown Johannesburg. So I could actually imagine all of this. I could literally see it in my head, the movement of accused number 3. And none of this time says that accused number 3, around 8 p.m., he was still in Fosloras, let alone at the Khumalo household. So now the question is, what was Zungu talking about? Because he seems to be the star witness of the state. Clearly, Zungu misled the state, misled the court, misled the public of South Africa, and he should be summoned as far as I am concerned, so that he can clarify what really happened on the 26th of October 2014, where you really would accuse number 1 to accuse number 5. Because these are the timelines according to technology. Cell phones. I also remember where Mr. Baloy tried his level best to disassociate the cell phone from the owner. Like, really? Really? How do you disassociate a person from their cell phone? Because that's like another body part of ours these days. Yes, I understand that there is a possibility that somebody may take your cell phone with you, but what grown-up man would allow anybody to take their cell phone away from them? let alone even know the pin of their cell phone. No man on earth will just hand over their cell phone and say, here you go. Oh yeah, by the way, that's the pin to access my phone. So all of these things, Zungu lied through his teeth. He needs to be called back. And I feel that he needs to be criminally held liable for the lies that he has told in court regarding the 5 men that stand accused of killing Senzo Mewa. So just that timeline alone, it exonerates accused number 3, which kind of like leads to what happened after the short adjournment, after the long adjournment, because at that time the court was getting really hot as far as I'm concerned, as Mr. Mnisi was busy submitting to the record using Pinky regarding the activities of accused number 3. Obviously, accused number 3's activities is also accused number 4's activities, as well as accused number 5 activities, because on that same day they met each other around 5:30. They met with accused number 5 coming from work. It doesn't say that he was anywhere near Vosloorus. He was in the CBD of Johannesburg when they met him on the 26th of October. Same goes with accused number 4, who was with accused number 3 when they met in Katlehong. And they all came back. So clearly, if you take accused number 4 cell phone data and you take accused number 5 cell phone data, they are going to correlate with accused number 3's cell phone data. So what Mnisi did, he exonerated all accused number 3, accused number 4, and accused number 5. Already accused number 2 and accused number 1 have been exonerated by the respective lawyers, Mgomezulu and Ramusipili. Because like I said, when I joined, this is when Pinky was confirming to Ramusipili that there were activities during the time that accused number 2 was being interrogated in Pretoria. So how is it possible that he's in the presence of all these police officers and he's able to go into his pocket and be dialing numbers? Everybody that in that room were police officers. You're telling me not even one police officer was like, why does he have his cell phone on him? Why was that cell phone not confiscated from him? So clearly there was a lie that was told by the state regarding the activities of Ntanzi's cell phone when he was being interrogated in Pretoria and somebody was using his phone on the other side. All of that is exonerations. But then where I got really like, come on, Rata, you just heard the phone records of accused number 3. You still want to hear the ballistic examination of Mangene together with this new one that is for the defense, Mr. Stefan Petersen. It's Stefan Petersen. After hearing all of that, come on, as a judge, I would have said, listen, I don't think there's even a need for these ballistic experts to take the stand because the state, I have some few questions. I don't understand how is he continuing to even listen to Petersen as well as Mangena when it comes to this 9mm. It's clear to me that they are desperate to ensure that the 5 men that stand accused of killing Senzo Mewa are held accountable for a crime they did not commit. Even though the court has heard there is no case here. There is no case here. But he is willing to listen. But it was quite interesting because I was anticipating Mnisi to continue after the long adjournment. And then when we return, I'm starting hearing Mr. Baloy's voice. I'm like, Mr. Baloy, where are you coming from? And then Mr. Baloy was talking about something that I don't remember happening yesterday, or it happened in the morning. I don't know, about some adjournment regarding the ballistic experts being in court with Geninda. I was like, where was I when that happened? But anyways, they discuss the whole ballistic experts with Mr. Mangena, who is the state's, state ballistic expert, and Mr. Petersen, who's going to be the defense ballistic expert. And now from what we were hearing on the process, at least, is that the state and the defense need to agree on a date. Mr. Peterson, together with Mr. Mangena, and the defense and the state will sit together and see the process of examining these evidence, which happens to be 2 bullets. Let me check my notes. So it is a firearm, cartridge cases, bullets from the firearm. There are 8 test bullets that were done by Rudolph Sir or something like that, and then 8 cartridges of what do you call this? 2 exhibit bullets from a 9mm. One is in good condition. The other one is in bad condition, and therefore the one in bad condition, Mr. Peterson feels like he won't be able to do any testing on that or any examination on it because it's not going to give them accurate information. Also, the firearm being from a Cleveland case, which accused number 3 is currently convicted for, 1 magazine, as well as 19 bullet from 21 bullet cases of a Parabellum, made 75, and it's black in color. So those are the things that he needs to submit into the records that he is going to be checking out to see if indeed Mr. Mangania's testimony does correlate with his own or they rebut each other. So Mr. Peterson said he can only start this process on the 29th of July because this coming week he is busy. However, all of the testing should be concluded on the 3rd week of August, but the judge wanted to know if he would not kind of risk it and give a date of some sort when he is going to be prepared with the report and come and present it in court. He said, let's make it the 2nd of September 2024. So we are going to see Mr. Mangenya as well as Mr. Peterson returning to court around the 2nd of September after all the ballistic examinations would have been concluded. So we'll see. And the order as well from Judge Rata was that all 3, that means the state, the defense, as well as Mangenya, should be present during the testing so that nobody cries foul on over the other one. So I thought, okay, that's fair enough. I like that. And as a result of that, we are going to be seeing them returning on the 2nd of September, and we get to hear the differences or the similarities in the testimonies of these 2 experts respectively. It was quite interesting to also hear that Gininda was in court today. Apparently was even in court yesterday. Again, I don't understand how I was absent during the time when I heard that he was in court, but it's okay, it's all good. So it was quite interesting when Mr. Mnisi was saying, but the 2nd of September there will be a recess. Miss Mshololo, who always has a pulse on the recess of the High Court, she was like, well, the recess of the High Courts is going to be on the 22nd of September. I couldn't stop giggling. I'm like, of course Miss Mshololo will know this because she takes her recesses very, very seriously. Miss Mshololo. She's like, no, the recess is on the 22nd of September. I'm like, okay, cool. At least now we all know that the next recess is going to be on the 22nd of September. So, of course, this does give time to the defense as well as the state to present their cases on the 2nd of September 2024. So that was a little bit of a giggle for me. I could not help myself. And then Mr. Mshololo once again asked for a 5-minute adjournment. I'm not quite sure what she wanted that adjournment for. However, she did indicate to the court that she intends on cross-examining Pinky. Also, Mr. Ngumalo indicated that he wants to cross-examine Pinky. And so the judge, okay, he was not particularly annoyed because it was close to 3 in the afternoon, and of course 30 minutes time there'll be an adjournment until the following day. And then Mr. Mnisi kind of like justified why there should be an adjournment because even the interpreter cried about a certain headache. And then Mr. Rata made a bit of a joke if somebody's muti is strong in the courtroom or whatever the case was. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But seemingly, the judge then not dismissed, adjourned the court until tomorrow, 10 o'clock. And I was waiting for the punches to roll on what do you call this, on Pinky. Of course, Mr. Mnisi was not going at Pinky. She was going at the record because he's submitting to the record about the lies that were told by Zungu, the lies that are being told by the state, the cookerization also that the state is busy doing. But looking at Mr. Baloy, who looked annoyed. I'm not sure if he looked annoyed at Sibanda who messed everything up, or he was just annoyed that he's getting exposed with all these lies that he had submitted to this court regarding the Senzo Meiwa murder. And clearly, I think he sees that the 5 men that stand accused of killing Senzo Meiwa, they seem to be slipping away from his hands. In fact, they're long time slipped away. It's just that the powers that be, which is the judge, he seems to be enjoying this. That is why now we are going to be hearing from the ballistic experts. I hope this is not going to get to that position because this case is dead. I've said this case is dead from a very long time. But yeah, we are going to see what happens tomorrow. Anyways, guys, please make sure before you leave this video, you give me a like because it helps the channel to grow. And also don't forget to click the bell notification after considering to subscribe. Please leave a comment and I'll see you next time with a new video. Goodbye.